I can see why. Uh, exactly. Wait, are we gonna do this in the group chat or?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was like, I saw Danzig. I was like, wait.
Yeah. I just didn't
No,
want
I
to
just
invite
saw.
anyone else. Hey.
Yeah, I like saw Danzig. I was like, wait. I thought we were doing a deep pad thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Blarg.
Hey, what's up, Trent?
Trench and I'm angry.
Okay.
I feel violent because I played Tetris. Now I want to burn somebody.
Old Jack Thompson.
Oh, Jack.
Just watching League of Legends' World Tournament. Fnatic versus Young Generation J4.
Millennials versus okay people.
Worst generation.
Millennials and okay people are the worst generations.
Okay, well,
I can think of.
start this out. Welcome to the D-Pad podcast. I'm your host, DZ Dog. Here with Austin Trench and Dragonking Mark. Don't know if Logan will be on. I don't know.
You did invite him, right?
He's not online, but yeah, I could call him.
I mean, it's not like his brake lights are cut.
Yeah. Okay, he's not online. Oh well. So how are you
well,
guys?
bye, folks.
So how are you guys doing?
Good, good. Played some
Is
Destiny
good.
2 with David and Cody.
Cool.
Yeah.
Trench.
Other than that, I'm just watching some videos. Watch that. Might watch let someone do a video walkthrough of Guild Wars 2's new expansion.
What?
Guild Wars 2?
Guild Wars 2. Yeah, the Path of Fire expansion.
Huh.
I'm interested in it because, well, from what I read up, you gotta kill Balthazar, the humans' god of fire. Apparently,
Fire.
yeah, because apparently after the whole Heart of Thorns expansion, where you take down Mordaresh, the plant Earth god, the plant Elder Dragon, you kind of find out a few things, such as Balthazar being the human's god of fire is in fact alive, not exactly what the people thought he was, and wants to destroy the Elder Dragons. Though,
That you've just found out that he had kids. He had a wife. You didn't know she was pregnant, didn't you? Didn't you? Didn't you?
Monster.
Monster, you're a murderer. You're going to jail. That's where you belong. You belong in jail.
uh,
So what about you, Trench?
I've just been, working on my new editing software.
Oh, what you got?
Adobe.
Oh, nice. I still have Sony Vegas.
And that's because you're not as privileged as I am.
Uh-huh.
Well, hey, at least I'm being honest about it.
Yeah. Still bad, but at least you're honest. As for me, nothing really. Just,
Sorry, folks, if y'all
Working.
thought we lived normal lives outside of this.
no.
No, we live depressing and very lonely lives.
Yes. Let's see. Oh, I watched, that new, Jaden Smith vanity project, Neo Yokio.
Horrendous.
It's always darkest before the dawn, sir. Shall we get you a giant Toblerone? Chocolate always cheers you up.
No, Charles. I want to visit the grave.
You've designed yourself a beautiful grave, sir.
I'm gonna rest for a bit.
Vanity
I need to
is a
see
very
that.
good word to describe it.
Uh-huh. It's, just take all of Jaden Smith's Twitter quotes and then just compile it into a script, and you got that show. Not
It's
my
a show
exact joke.
that's confused knowing why it's a show.
Yeah. Though, episode 2, it gets, what's the word to say? Self-aware, I guess? Because it starts like, one of the characters starts like spouting this like random communist rhetoric about like how extravagant all the characters' lives are, and it's like, okay, did Outlaw hijack the show? What's going on?
Then you see him in the background going, "Here is my ideology."
Oh.
Why do I,
Oh.
honest to God, imagine him actually doing that?
And then he just is Jaden, but he doesn't wear blackface or anything. He just says a T-shirt that says, "I'm totally Jaden Smith," with an arrow pointed at him, and they believed him. But then would they be shocked?
Yeah.
He dressed like Batman for someone's wedding, so obviously he'd be wearing a white person outfit and then wearing white face.
I can see that.
Although Eddie Murphy and Snoop Dogg make it look better.
Oh yeah, they did do that once. Oh god.
It's still the funniest SNL sketch ever, where he's like, "As soon as the black guy got off the bus, I was there with the other white people. Then out of nowhere, a cocktail waitress popped out and jazz music was playing." What? And like Snoop Dogg rode around town dressed as his white alter ego, and cops waved at him. "Well, howdy there, sir." It's like, I know we white people are easy to fool, but come on, you're not helping.
Yeah, I get that a lot sometimes. I'm a white
Oh
guy.
boy.
Jaden Smith's show, like, my god. It's basically the Room of anime parodies. It failed so spectacularly, but that's what makes it so entertaining.
Right. I can't wait
It's
until he backpedals.
unintentionally funny when it's trying to be funny.
Yeah. It does feel like this weird fan dub, or like an abridged series. One that isn't funny though, but you know. Actually, it's not that bad. I like wanted to hate it more than I did, but it was just kind of mediocre.
But here's the thing is, I don't know what the joke is of Neo Yokio. There is no joke to it other than, do you guys like to Toblerone and chill? That's
yeah.
it.
I want to say that maybe it's trying to like make fun of like celebrity shows, but that would be too cerebral, I think. I don't think they were thinking that ahead.
I don't think Jaden's that self-aware to think about that.
No. What say you, Mark? I don't know if you've seen
Oh,
it.
hi, Mark.
Oh, God.
Hello.
He still doesn't get the reference.
Nope.
One day you will, young man.
Yeah, we need to watch
When
The
you
Room.
do, I will give you a wet willy.
You need to watch The Room at least once in your life to just experience just the lack
It's like
of
watching
self-awareness.
porn in a crowded subway. You need to do that once in your life. Not that I did that or anything, but, you know.
Yeah, of course.
So do you guys like remixes of original pop songs?
50-50.
Yeah.
Well, there's one that actually works better as a remix than how it did as the original one. Here's the link.
Let's see what we got here. Oh boy.
Now, before you judge me, actually listen to it.
Oh, Mamma Mia. Okay, yeah, I'll listen to it later. 80s remix Justin Bieber. I don't know. Could be good.
He looks better with a mullet, if you ask me. With the Jerry Curl mullet.
Yeah.
It's like, this is gonna suck. 2 minutes in, I'm like, oh my god, I love this song now. It sounds better if it was from the 80s.
Uh-huh. Hold on, I got one. It's kind of a meme, but not really. So dumb.
You wanna know what is a meme?
What?
Regret.
Oh, that's pretty much without saying.
Yep.
Like the person who had to animate Neo Yokio.
I can't believe Studio IG did that.
To be fair,
I
they
can't
did
believe
Dead
they
Man
allow-
Wonderland.
Oh, well, yeah, that's
Oh yeah,
true.
they did Dead Man Wonderland.
So, you know they have no shame.
No shame.
If any Dead Man Wonderland fans watching this know I hate you and despise your existence. Not who you are as a person, I just like the thing you like.
Yeah. I wanted to like it, but wasn't very good in my opinion. Just kind of, it was trying to be like Battle Royale, but not really.
Yeah, like, they set it up to where, like, okay, they had this where prisoners work at a carnival. Yeah, great idea.
Yeah, that's not going to have
That's
a lawsuit
That's a
involved.
red flag, even a thing. It would work better if it was like, this is a post-apocalyptic Earth, and like, this is a fascist government of Japan now. Like how Battle Royale was like that.
Mm-hmm.
But here, they don't do that. It's like, nope, the whole country's being fooled. Really? This quick? This easily?
Yeah, they like shrug it off like, oh, that's just CG. It's not real people dying. Seriously?
Tastes very metally.
Yeah. Freaking blood just
Oh,
splashes
shut up.
in
They're
your face.
criminals. You don't feel bad. It's like, but their blood is in my mouth. Yeah, well, your ass was in my face last night, Sharon. We all had to endure things we didn't want to endure. Yeah, that sucked. The anime had a really dumb ending, though. Oh, the manga, sorry. I was curious enough to read the whole manga, and it's so bad it doesn't make sense.
Oh, no.
Like, obviously Ganta gets out of prison, right? He does. He's cleared of all things, and it's like, well, we're sorry. You don't have a family or a home to go to, so we're just putting you in foster care.
You know, sorry for the emotional scarring and physical scarring.
They
Builds character.
And mental
never
scarring.
explain. See, there is like, because he's still the same age. Like, I think he was there like a month at least.
Seriously?
Yeah, a month. Just like. Then again, like, he was kept underground for most of that time. It was only like 4 days in the prison system, and then just put in a laboratory for the rest of the time. I was like, okay, now you're down here. I'm like, what?
Yikes.
Damn.
Why didn't they just put him down there in the first place? Oh, so then people wouldn't have to see the prison system things. Like, dude, no one cares. It's a fucking carnival. That doesn't make sense to begin with.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense how that can work. People would die regardless of whether or not you had control over the inmates. Because one inmate's going to be like, I don't give a fuck. And just like stabbing the people with the ice cream cones.
They're using their crazy anime powers.
He has the power of God in anime on his side. Yeah, but what about Satan and hentai? God help those who have that power. You think that kid ever got bullied at school for that
what?
meme?
Oh, of
The
course.
God in anime kid.
Of course.
It's like, Timmy, are you ready to write on the board? And then someone yells, yeah, God in anime help?
Oh.
And then he killed that person after school. He beat him to death with his own book bag.
But now the media won't be able to spin it to force more gun control.
Oh, but he killed him. He beat him to death with the book bag, though.
Exactly,
But
they
there
can't.
was a drawing of a gun in there.
Yeah. You gotta work in gun control somewhere, you know?
Exactamundo. But yeah, I'm kind of losing hope on anime. That's why I'm really just like, I'm looking forward to One Punch Man Season 2 the most.
Oh, yeah. That looks awesome.
We hear so many things about that, like, oh, it's in development hell. Like, come on, just make it, man. We need our fix. It was really funny and just really cool, even though it didn't really make sense that a lot of the heroes don't wear costumes.
Yeah, they really didn't wear costumes, but...
They're supposed to be superheroes. Like, aren't you guys supposed to wear costumes and, like, secret identities into... wait, no, this is Japan. They don't know what that is.
Yeah.
They'll be like, Nani? He's like, no, secret identity. See, people aren't supposed to know who you are. Then he just put glasses on and was like, but I don't have hearing impairment. I don't have seeing impairments. It's like, no, damn it.
That'd be funny if he did
And they
put
had that
hearing
really
aids in.
offensive, muscular, gay superhero.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That guy.
His powers don't make sense.
He just gets muscular and punches people.
I get it's basically the Japanese version of the Tick. But no offense, but the Tick was a lot more funny.
Yeah, and a lot of the, I guess humor doesn't really translate that well into, American sensibilities, I guess.
Yeah,
Other than the fact that he looks like Caillou. Be careful who you make fun of in middle school.
Yeah, because they'll probably end up in a position of power when they're like older.
Or they'll be bald still and have ultimate power but be completely bored by it.
Yep.
And only wants to eat udon noodles.
Yeah, but I kind of have a little bit of faith in anime. Not that much, but I think there can still be good stuff. You know, you just gotta dig.
Obviously. Like,
Yeah.
Have you seen the trailer for the remake of Mazinger Z?
No, I haven't, but that piques my interest. We'll have to check it out.
If y'all don't know what Mazinger Z is, kids, Mazinger Z was something our grandparents grew up with, where it was kind of like that really bad show on Adult Swim, Gigantor, where a teenager would pilot a giant robot because anime.
Yeah, but he didn't have
To
mental
sell
problems
toys.
and whined about it constantly.
But this is... Oh, yes.
Before that,
Consider it a more lighthearted version of Gundam,
yeah, you know, it's
where
war.
most of the bad guys were robots.
Yeah,
Meaning no death of anyone important, at least.
exactly.
Forget about mass civilian casualties.
I like how they just glance over that in those kinds of shows.
It's like, no, there's so many people dead in this shit.
Hey, the monster would have killed more. So
Many died that day.
it was a trade-off.
Oh well. Get the Mazinger Z t-shirt. It has one of the dumbest ideas for controlling it, where the main character has a spaceship, right?
And he flies,
He flies into
head.
the robot's head and lands on it, and then pilots it from there. You can't make this shit up, people. This is like something Neil Breen could come up with. But then again, he's a real hero and a real human Breen.
That's right. He's the hero we need, don't deserve.
Can we have the thumbnail for this video? It would just be Neil's face everywhere continuously.
That's right. It's his fault that Equifax leaked all that information.
Hmm.
It was all Breen.
And then he destroyed his laptop. I can't. I'm feeling less stable.
I'm gonna rewatch that movie.
You know, I used to be innocent.
Huh?
Green. Now I cleared all my remedies. Now I can eat tuna while I'm driving.
Poor Mark is just completely lost.
Yep.
There's got to be a better way.
Needs Breen in his life.
Y'all need Breenness. He's the superior Breen. There's so many Breen puns you can make with him. Hey, can you Breen me some hot dogs? Ooh, right in the Breens. He got stabbed in the Breens.
Breening it all down. I don't know.
What did you call me? Oh, hey man, I just call you Breen. I'm Breen. It's a Breen. Whoa, dude, it's a Breen. It's a Breen. Stop.
Well, let's see if Calm's on.
I saw something.
The clown. Yeah, I saw him too.
What happens when another Georgie goes missing?
What?
of us. Are you just gonna pretend it isn't happening like everyone else in this town? If we stick together, we'll win.
Take that as a no.
Have I seen what?
Well, kiddies, if you go see it,
Oh, it.
please be a reminder that there is violence towards children in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
So you know this movie isn't going to fuck around and hold your hand. You will see children die. Graphically.
Yeah.
Like, you see a girl without the lower part of her body. You see a 5-year-old get his arm bit off and bleed to death.
Yeah, it's pretty
And you
intense.
see a 15-year-old stab a grown man in the neck.
And graphic detail. Yeah.
Yep.
And you see someone carve the letter H into a fat boy's stomach.
Oh, that's just, a little bit of hazing. It's a little
Bit of
fun.
hazing.
It's
It's
minor.
the 80s. It was a crazy time.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Oh, and just to scare you kids more, they mention New Kids on the Block.
Oh, God.
And
Why was there
you're
so
like-
much
you're
new
like,
kids?
"Ah!" New Kids on the Block.
Hmm. But it was a good movie. I just didn't like the jump scares weren't that bad, but it's like they had to have that, horror movie, modern day horror movie sound effect. Where it's like just everything rushing at you. It's like they didn't need that. They could have. Yeah.
I think it wouldn't have worked if they didn't have it, because
Really?
it's a clown rushing at
Eh.
you with sharp teeth. It needs to have that feel of, oh fuck, it's coming right at me.
I guess. But, I'm just old fashioned.
But then again, this clown is not really clown. It's really a giant pregnant spider. Hey, don't blame me. Stephen King wrote it.
The power of cocaine.
Actually, no, the power of alcohol. He was an alcoholic and witnessing his friend get ran over by a train as a child.
Hmm.
Stephen King has earned the right to be fucked up as a person. He's like, yep, that'll do it.
Mm-hmm, but look what it's done for him.
Obviously, you all know they cut a specific part of the book out of the movie.
Oh, we're gonna have to
A
talk about
very important part.
the underage gangbang.
What the? What?
Trench, would you like to explain to Mark?
I've just been
Okay,
watching. I've just been watching a
Look,
Guild Wars 2
after
lore
they
video.
defeat Pennywise, they get lost in the sewer, and then they felt like it's coming back to get them, and it's like it's whatever. So they're like, we need to lose our innocence, and we're all scared. And then Beth, the girl, has an idea. It's like, why don't we all, do it? And they're like, what? And then they all literally line up, taking turns, doing it with each other.
Wow.
It's just like they have tickets.
And it gets worse.
Obviously, Mike was the first one to go.
Because doesn't Stephen King explain like Beth describes like each of the boys' size, I guess would be the word to
Oh,
say.
God.
Yes, I don't know. It's Stephen King. I guess that's why that book is so infamous, because that would fuck anyone up reading that. They were just like, someone's twitching afterwards, like, what happened? Stephen King! Oh my god. He's not making books about a little kid being drenched in pig blood at the prom. He's doing this.
Only Stephen King.
But, it kind of joked at that, because the Richie character says, hey, can only virgins see this shit? Because I'm seeing nothing. I felt, that was a joke on that, I can tell.
Oh yeah. I remember that line.
And that kid from Stranger Things, he was hilarious in this movie. And I heard when he was working on Stranger Things after he worked on it, He just kept dropping F-bombs, and they're like, dude, chill.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm sorry. It's
Though-
like, then again, that was us as kids.
Yeah,
I
I've
was
known
you
kids like
wanna say
that.
fuck like machine gun.
Mm-hmm. I've known guys like
My
that.
personal favorite actor of the bunch was the kid who played either Eddie or Bill.
Oh yeah, Bill was
I thought Eddie had the best reaction shots.
mm-hmm.
Like, he actually looked legit terrified at everything happening. I think Bill kind of, the clown, Bill Skarsgård, kind of got way too into his role. It's like, he's up in people's faces, and I'm like, okay, I think that kid's actually scared. You need to stop. Cut. It's like, wow. And then I started thinking in my head, see, Jared Leto? This is how you do this.
Yeah, get him to be Joker.
There is a fan edit poster of what he would look like as the Joker, and he is terrifying as him. He has that permanent scowl on his face, that forehead of his, that very, like, forehead.
Giant forehead.
That eerie on his face. I'm like, ugh. And I felt the creepiest part of his performance was he was a lot more happy, and also he could do that thing, he could make one of his eyes go another direction.
Oh. Oh, so that wasn't CG.
No, that was just him relaxing his eye. He's like, I kept feeling that was so the clown is looking at the audience too. Like it's a Deadpool-like thing. Where it's like, you're gonna watch this. It was like, no! Then you see him bite Georgie's arm off and drag him into the grate. Like, I give this movie so much props for actually having the balls to do something, and like that's really what I loved about it. It was very well done. Like, the kids were great, although I have to admit, like, I think they kind of made the Beth character's home life a little over the top, because it's implied that, I'm sorry, this happened in the book too. Her dad may or may not be abusing her in a very horrific way, to a part where her dad strokes her hair, and then 2 minutes after that, she rushes to the bathroom, starts sobbing and cutting her hair to look like a boy. I'm like, oh, jeez. Even Pennywise is like, no, I'm not going to your house until the end of the movie. Right before he kidnaps her, he makes sure the dad's dead. He's like, you dead?
You gone? Okay.
He's scared of him.
Scared of him.
He's just like, yeah, I'm not messing with him. And then you get the bullies, which are standard Stephen King bullies, where they want to kill these kids for no reason. They're all racists.
Yeah, that was...
But they were fun.
Yeah, I kind of like that. There's, like, this implied, like, racism. It wasn't, like, overt. It was very subtle.
He's like, get the fuck out of my town! It's like, but I was born here!
But I think they went a little too far, I think, with, I can't remember that one scene where it was, like, with that, nightclub that burned down. And it was, like, an African-American nightclub, and then...
Oh, yeah, there was supposedly a flashback where Mike, the kid, talks about what he saw, and then it cuts to him as a kid in the house as it burned down. Because the ghosts that you see there in the trailer, those hands reaching out, those are his parents.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ugh.
But yeah, good movie. I enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, I wonder how dark it's gonna get for the sequel, because I hear so many things, like maybe they might bring the kid actors back to be forms Pennywise takes to screw with the adult characters.
Ooh.
But I know for a fact they're gonna get the Georgie kid back to mess with the Bill character again, because if you don't know, there's a scene where Pennywise constantly takes the form of Bill, of Georgie to mess with Bill, and like Bill's always on like the verge of tears talking to this hallucination of him.
Yeah.
And like, oh my god, you feel so terrible for these kids, because this is essentially a giant bully messing with things that are weaker than him.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, it can't go after adults because their minds are too complex for them. He targets children because they're the easiest to scare, because what scares kids? A werewolf, a mummy, a zombie, or a clown, because clowns are scary no matter how nice they are. In fact, them being
Yeah.
nice while in makeup makes them more scary.
Yep.
And the creepiest thing about him, he's the cute kind of scary, where he's very cheerful, very childlike. And like when he's like, "Am I not real for you?" He's like an evil Paul Giamatti. Which I'm the only one that is like, doesn't he look like Paul Giamatti a little bit?
Didn't notice that. I'll have to
Did you
side by
just
side.
watch Spider-Man 2 and that one? That's like, oh my god. And I love the costuming for Pennywise. Like, his look felt so old. Like, this clown has been around here longer than we think. Because in the book, he's been around since the dawn of time. His real name is actually Bob Gray. By the way, this is Stephen King's book stuff. It's connected to both The Dark Tower, this, and Dreamcatcher. Because Bob Gray has multiple forms. So, he's been around for a long time, and he came around right when the 1700s happened. The town of Derry was made as a beaver trapping village. And apparently there was a flashback prologue of this movie where you see Pennywise looks like a human but still has that really elongated forehead.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he looks like Bill and everything, just not with the outfit or anything. You see his face. And he makes a deal with a young mother saying, okay, I will spare you and your family, but I will take your daughter, the Native Americans, and the other beaver trapping people here. Just leave me your daughter first and get the hell out of here. And she leaves her baby daughter on the floor in the room and closes the door and holds her son close to her. And you hear the baby scream and then it stops. I'm like, dude, that's fucked up. Why didn't you put that in the movie? That would have been terrifying. You don't see the baby get eaten because that's a little too far, but like, I love that they're willing to go that far, like, to show that this thing isn't messing around. It's hungry. And it shows, like, Pennywise, where you see he's drooling, he's very nervous and very anxious. He's saying whatever he can to gain Georgie's trust, because it's a creature of consumption, which is what it's based on in the Dark Tower universe, where it is so hungry, it will do anything. It's like a crackhead demon, which is what Double Toasted said it was. I'm sorry.
Sorry, it sounded like one of the void creatures from League of Legends.
It's kind of like that, only it tries to be more trusting towards people. And Georgie, he's like 5, so he doesn't know that clowns are that scary, because he thinks like, oh, well, he's like from the circus, or howdy doody. But it doesn't make sense, because it's 1988 or 89 when this happens. And Killer Clowns from Outer Space recently came out, so obviously he'd know clowns are scary. But then again, he's 5. I bet he wasn't allowed to watch that.
He had good parents.
But that really what makes it hurt more, because you're just like, you leave that kid alone, because you feel bad that these kids, though foul-mouthed, they're not bad kids. Mm-mm. They're actually really nice kids. They're kids with good heads on their shoulders, who are thrust into something they're in over their head for. Like, they thought, oh, this is just some creepy pedophile that's in here. It's like, nope. This thing knows where you are at all times, because it's implied and it's shown that Pennywise has control over the entire town, where the fat kid gets bullied, he's screaming for help, and then you see the balloon in someone's car going like, nope, Pennywise has blocked them even viewing it, so they don't know that they're even there. And it's also implied that some people know that thing exists, because there's a woman that walks out of her house during the rain to see Georgie talking to someone in the grate, and she knows what's going to happen, so she walks right back inside. Pennywise is essentially the rich psychopathic son of the mayor, where he can do whatever he wants and no one can stop him. And that's what makes him a great villain. It makes him a great villain too. Like, it's like, wow, it's like what we've missed with Freddy Krueger in the old days. Mm-hmm. where no one believes them, or they just don't want to remember the things they've seen because their parents must have been their age when Pennywise came back. Because it's implied that he took the form of a real clown because there are photos of Pennywise's cart being paraded through the city. And in his lair, Pennywise has a real stage and everything where he does clown stuff. So it's implied that Pennywise killed someone that was dressed as a clown so he could take the form to lure people in, because it probably saw, okay, what this guy does, he goes up to children, gives them food, a balloon, and all that stuff, and they dance with him, and they love him, and they cheer him, and it's like, okay, this is like a honey flypaper where I can just like lure them out and whatever. He's kind of like that fish in Finding Nemo where Dory's like, ooh, look at
The
that cute
anglerfish.
little light.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's essentially what he is. He's not a spider. He's more like that, which makes more sense given he has this thing known as the Deadlights, where there's a scene where it changes a lot from the book, where it was supposed to be the Jewish kid Stan who looks into its deadlights, only he's more assaulted by a form of it that he believes his friends left him for dead when they didn't, knowing that we all know what's going to happen to Stan if you remember the Nostalgia Critics review of it. Beth looks into the beast's deadlights and has a vision saying, okay, I dreamt that we were all here, we were just as old as our parents, but we were so scared. And they do the thing out of the book where they slice their hands open and make like a blood pact. And then it has a really cute montage of them saying goodbye and walking away, and like they're transitioning as they're walking away, like they're fading.
Is this like the new movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh.
And it has a really... it talks about young love and all that stuff, because Ben and Bill both love Beverly. Ben actually is the first one to give Beverly a kiss out of the Losers Club. Bill gets the kiss at the end, but Ben, the fat kid, gets to give her the kiss, and then he actually admits to her, hey, I wrote you that letter, because he wrote her a poem because he thought she was so beautiful. And, you know, I'm glad Ben get the kiss first. I'm glad, because we know that he a lot cooler as a person when he gets over his weight and all that stuff. Which I hear the actor wants Chris Pratt to play him, which I'm like, that's cool, but your character has to be 40.
Yeah. I don't see that working, especially like Chris Pratt.
Oh, yeah. But it talks a lot about young love, where Bill... By the way, Bill's character, he's so good, then he has a believable stutter, because he's like... he can make a full sentence, just every once in a while you hear a stutter. And I loved his character so much because he has something to prove. He has something he wants. Like, he's more motivated than the others. Everyone wants to survive. He just wants his little brother back. Because in this movie, he thinks Georgie is missing rather than dead. His father's like, you need to move on. He's dead. It's kind of like his parents knows the clown took him, because they must have encountered something like this a long time ago. They just won't talk about it. And he gives this very touching speech saying, like, we know what's at my house? Nothing. Just Georgie's stuffed animals, his toys, but he's not there. And I'm like, oh man, that hits you hard. And it's like he blames himself because he was sick. He didn't know anything like this even existed. But he really should not have let, Georgie go out there alone, even at that age. That's kind of a dumb move, even on his part. It's like, you're letting your brother play in an empty street on a very cloudy, rainy day with no adults supervising him. Like, yeah, you should kind of blame yourself for that, but I understand that, he trusted Georgie to be a lot more smart than that, because Georgie says, like, hey, I'm not supposed to take things from strangers, and then that friggin' clown has to twist the words around and goes, well, now we're not strangers, are we? I'm like, no, I think so. And a lot of the characters have solid motivations, except for two, Mike and Stan. Mike.
Yeah.
That
They're
says those two don't make it.
No.
No.
Oh, Mike and Stan survive,
Mm-hmm.
but Mike's story was completely cut. Like, Ben's character is the person who hangs out in the library a lot so he can learn about history. When Mike was the history buff about that, and obviously he and Ben were friends because they both had a passion for something, but they didn't do that because they just wanted him to be the homeschool kid who was afraid to shove a bolt gun into a sheep's head. Like, yeah, these kids have messed up lives.
Yep.
Then again, it's a town with an evil clown, so you can understand why. And Stan, his biggest fear is like messing up his bar mitzvah speech, reading the Torah, and I don't understand what his fear has to do with that. Like, apparently there was the original script where the character that Pennywise takes on, of a female character, plays with herself in a apparently a tub for women that have recently, became women. And apparently it was supposed to represent a fear of growing up and like maturing into manhood. But they cut that, and apparently there's a deleted scene where he gives a big speech at his bar mitzvah where the clown is there watching him and glaring at him because he reveals, like, hey, you're all terrible people because you let this thing, terrorize us. And, like, everyone stops. Like, no one moves or anything. Like, they're in still motion. And it's like, oh, fuck. That clown, he knows. He's like, you talking shit, Stan? I heard you talking shit, man.
Never talk shit to a clown.
It's not a clown, though.
Yeah, it's a cosmic entity.
From the Macroverse.
Oh god, Cthulhu.
Yeah, it is pretty much, but it's kind of like Actually, this is actually a good way to pronounce it. Miss Bob Gray is essentially a loser, like the Losers Club, only he's an evil one.
Yeah,
he's a reject from the Macroverse.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh man, we don't mess with Bob. I was like, hey guys, can I hang out with you? He's like, no, Bob, go away. But I just want to float. By the way, he talks like Scooby-Doo in this.
He kind of does, actually.
Really? I
like,
saw the trailer for it and I didn't see it.
Huh?
I saw the trailer for it and I didn't see it.
Oh,
I didn't see him talking like Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
The creepiest part for me, obviously, is the basement scene where Georgie starts yelling, "You'll float too!" And it's like his face starts dissolving and he becomes more corpse-like, and then Pennywise just shoves him in the water and he explodes in like a crimson pile, and he's just smiling at Bill. And then just rushes at him, and then he's just like laying on the stairs. And then his eyes roll to the back of his head, and then he's dragged off screen by something. Like, it shows you that body is just a puppet for the real entity, the control, which is like, and then when he opens his mouth, like his mouth is kind of like the Demogorgon from Stranger Things, where it's just rows of teeth inside something.
What Stranger Things about?
Just like, what?
What Stranger Things about? I've watched only a little bit of it, so I can't really explicitly explain it. I think there's like this,
it's a Stephen King fan film.
Yeah, pretty much. There's like this weird girl with telekinetic powers. She escapes from some lab, and then these kids find her. And then some crazy stuff.
But
oh, sorry, you're cutting out a bit, Trench.
Nostalgia driven. Be like, what? Like one of them has an Evil Dead poster in the background. Like, I love that. That shit right there is great. But if you ever get a chance to see it, it's great. And here's the thing that you need to know. There is no nostalgia factor in it. Believe it or not, like, this movie is actually really subtle.
Yeah, they had a few parts, like, New Kids on the Block and, who was it? Richie was playing Street Fighter, I think?
Street Fighter.
Yeah. But it was just, like, kind of in there. It wasn't just like, oh, hey, look, Street Fighter. That one game.
Cut all the 80s stuff out of there. It just looks like a town you grew up in.
Exactly. It's got that timeless feel.
It's just they don't have cell phones. Although that will be hilarious to see Pennywise take a selfie.
Oh, no.
Duckface!
Oh.
Georgie.
He dabs.
Oh no.
Okay, now that's actually scary.
Oh, yes, that's the real fear that I have.
But you know, Bill Skarsgård's got great lines in there, even though his dialogue is kind of cheesy, where he says, "No, I'll feast on your flesh as I feast on your fear." I'm like, oh come on.
Yeah.
It was so hammy.
Eh.
But holy shit, it's awesome when these kids literally, they don't do like how they did in the miniseries where they're just like holding hands and one goes, "This is battery acid, you slime,"
Oh yeah,
and
that was...
sprays him.
Mm.
No, they gang up on this clown and beat the shit out of him, like with like
Nice.
chains and bats. Like, oh,
Yeah. It's like Persona.
Nice.
I wanted to yell, "World Star!"
All right. Well,
Pennywise's
anything else about it?
Oh, it's a prank! Prank! Awk TV clown edition.
Oh.
But yeah, I recommend you guys see it. Plus, the soundtrack is beautiful. It has like a Poltergeist soundtrack to it, if you know what I mean, where it feels like 100-piece orchestra, where it feels very childlike, very innocent at times, very scary. And I think that's a great part of it, because it reminds you, nostalgia-wise, of films that were trying instead of trying to be a cash grab. They wanted to make money, but they wanted to make a movie first rather than a franchise.
Right.
By the way, this is chapter 1. Like, after credits it said, "It, chapter 1, The Losers Club."
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yep, they're gonna show them when they're adults, like in the TV film. Or
I hope
miniseries.
they kind of do things where outside of Jerry, everyone acts like a normal person.
Mhm.
But when they go in there, they meet adults that sound so bad and cheesy there. They're like, "Why are they talking like that?" And they're like, "Oh my god, is this how everyone talked when we were here?"
Just completely
It's like that
changed.
really weird thing of coming home.
Uh-huh.
Because everyone becomes successful except for Mike. He stays behind to become like a librarian.
Oh yeah, he did. And there was that one scene.
Yeah, and
that
apparently
GIF-worthy scene.
In the
where
miniseries, he said that he went back to its hideout so we can collect
Uh-huh.
the stuff they used to kill it. So I'm like, you better not go back there now, because it'll be waiting for you. It's like, hiya, Mikey. There's a really fucked up scene with Mike where his face is about to be shoved into raw sheep meat, and Pennywise is like right there watching the bullies do it, and he's like not on a little kid's arm, and he just shakes the arm at him, making him wave. I'm like, this is disturbing. It's disturbing but hilarious at the same time. You're not going to walk out of this movie the same. You're going to be like, phew. And I think that's a good thing, because it's a movie that makes you not scared, it makes you disturbed and creeped out, especially with cinematographers that worked on stuff like Old Boy and Snowpiercer. So,
Yeah. So,
yeah, that's all I got to say about it.
Yeah. So anything, any other goings on?
Not much really. I finished my first unit of my online classes yesterday.
Oh, nice. How's that going?
It's pretty good. I mean, the first week was just just getting settled in. Medical terminology is just crazy, though. Barely could understand it, so I just mostly guessed.
Seriously? Okay, well, that's one way to do it.
It's mostly
Game the
just,
system.
mostly it's just, just going over things and,
Uh-huh.
online.
Yeah, I know, I'm just
Not the-
messing with you.
And this week's going to be Unit 2, and I had to go through the whole freaking process of financial aid, and that one was even more hell.
I'm sorry you got to go through that, man.
Financial aid is a jerk.
It is.
Well, I'm sure you'll do fine. You're a clever dude.
Yeah.
It's good to have
So
aspirations.
other than like that, I've just been, playing a bit more games lately. Destiny 2.
Uh-huh.
I've been watching this new anime lately called Yokai Apartment.
Oh. Is that
It's this
sequel to
sort of-
Yokai Watch? But
No, it's not. I know what you mean. Like, so many people thought it was like a sequel to Yokai Watch, but it's like it's not. It's its own thing.
Hmm.
The main guy, Inaba, he's supposed to finally get this chance to go to this new high school at I I think it's like it's like a high school dorm, so he can move out of his uncle and aunt's place because he doesn't want to be a burden to them.
Mm-hmm.
But the place burnt down,
Oh.
and the dorm burnt down, and he was upset. But then he found a new place to live in the yokai apartments, and he kind of finds out that there's the yokai live there. But he starts to get used to it and stuff. And it's more like a feel good anime.
That's nice.
It's pretty cool. It's like very heartwarming, very interesting, deep. It's like 13 episodes in. I'm gonna finish the 13th episode tonight, and I think I'm gonna watch Blue Exorcist 2, the dubbed. They finally got the dubbed version out.
Blue Exorcist 2, Electric Boogaloo.
That's the
The quickening.
it's the Kyoto arc. The original Blue.
We're messing with you, seriously.
Yeah, I know. I've gotten used to it, but
Whoa,
So, yeah.
bruh, it's a prank. It's a prank.
Exactly,
Bruh,
it's
it's
a
a
prank.
prank.
Oh,
Prank Nation.
it's 2015.
What
all
up,
over
haters? Chris here.
again.
but yeah, the Kyoto arc.
Mm-hmm.
If you've seen the original story, then you know that. Well, if you saw the original anime, you know it splits off after the whole Amaimon fight, and the Kyoto arc is basically a continuation of the manga. I don't know if they're gonna make a third season that continues up with the manga, or if they want to do a complete reboot. I'd be like, okay, cool. But if you want to see Blue Exorcist, see it up to the end of the Amaimon arc and immediately watch season 2. Because the original Blue Exorcist has an anime-only arc, and it wasn't all that good.
Yeah, okay. I actually didn't watch much.
So yeah, I will definitely check out that yokai apartment. I'm talking about. It's called Elegant Yokai.
Yeah, Elegant Yokai Apartments.
Well, you guys want to actually end it off here because I honestly didn't have that much to say. I'm just bored. I'm sorry. It's all my fault.
Yeah,
I guess.
So,
I
yeah,
mean,
it looks very interesting.
Is that sarcasm?
No, I'm just saying
Oh.
that like maybe it might reinvigorate my hope in anime.
Oh, that's good.
yeah, I mean, if you really want to check it out, I mean, that's a good anime to get into, as well as there's a few others I've been watching lately. Rage of Bahamut Virgin Soul, that's about to end. There is also Made in Abyss, which is also a really great anime that if you know anything about the ocean and stuff, you kind of be surprised at how much the abyss takes after it. And like it's subtle, but it's really interesting. Although be warned about episode 10, because it's apparently involving one of the most infamous scenes of the manga, and
Underage gangbang?
no.
Okay.
And
good.
it says co-written by Stephen King. Oh damn it! And he's like wearing those like racist Asian novelty glasses
Oh no.
and a straw hat. It's like, you mother trucker, you snuck in. And he's got buck teeth just to make it more offensive. Hurrah, Stephen King. It's like, I thought he was Asian. My goodness, he's a master of disguise.
Honestly, Stephen King does kind of look Asian. Just a little bit. If you squint.
He's just that old.
Yeah, it's just his age. It's just made
So
everything.
old. It's like an Asian person is like, hey man, can you believe how white people treat us? Like, I'm white. It's like, no. No way. He was like, I'm not that. The only person that hates me is Nostalgia Critic. He won't stop picking on me.
That's right. Keeps making videos.
Maybe if you wrote better stuff.
Yeah.
Just saying. I'm just saying, maybe your kids are doing a lot better than you.
Ooh.
I'm always New York Times bestseller. No, literally, his every single book he's made.
Everyone?
How
Every
many
book?
books does he make?
I know,
It's
he
like,
makes so many.
He makes so many new ones every so often. It's like, you're a billionaire now.
I mean,
You
in
don't
all
need to do
honesty,
it.
he's
You know, he's got that
like-
pedigree, I guess.
that, and I think most of the settings in his stories generally are like on the road where he lived. I think.
Or
Something
maybe he
interesting.
just writes now for fun.
Probably.
But then again, Stephen King's made some of the best movies, like The Green Mile, and Shawshank, Stand By Me, The Shining, even though he hated The Shining, which is weird.
Yeah. I've heard about that. He didn't like Kubrick messing with it. I liked not the Kubrick one, but the original, or not the original, but the one that Stephen King had in mind. It was different.
I mean, it was low budget, which is
Yeah.
what its biggest problem was.
Yeah,
but
that was his problem.
I felt it had better character development.
Yeah. There was something about
Like
it.
the Jack character, like he was actually a lot more sympathetic. You
Mhm.
understood like why was he going crazy, because the ghosts were messing with him, posing as his dead father, talking to him, offering him alcohol when he's a recovering alcoholic. It's just like you feel terrible for him. And I thought the ending for this was a lot sweeter than the movie version, where
Yeah.
the kid grows up, he's at his college graduation, he's a doctor, and then he sees the ghost of his dad there, and he's like, "Hey Doc, I love you." I'm like, "Aw." That just made me go, "Aw, cute."
Yeah.
And the dad actually sacrificed himself to save his son, not freeze out there in the cold for an ending that doesn't make any sense.
But guys, you gotta analyze it. You gotta look deep between the lines.
Yeah, we saw that weird documentary where someone is apparently having a hard-on while shaking someone's hand.
Oh, what?
Oh, there's a documentary about The Shining saying there's a bunch of hidden meanings for it,
Oh.
other than Native Americans, and like, where the hell are you getting all this from?
So it was like the precursor to all those clickbait videos.
Yeah, but here's one thing they don't explain. Why is there a furry in this movie?
Oh yeah, that part.
Even the ghosts are like, "Hey, you didn't see shit.
There's
Don't
this.
tell the other ghosts about this."
Oh, Mark, there's this guy in The Shining, the Kubrick version. He was in like a bear suit. And he was blowing this other guy.
And the guy was like, "Please don't tell my ghost wife about this." Why is
Yeah.
your door open?
Yeah.
Oh God.
They're ghosts. They don't give a fuck. They've done this billions of times. They live in a continuous loop of existence. Unless it's the torture of that little kid. Oh my god, they have so much fun in both versions messing with that kid. They're like, okay, the little kid's coming right here. But I do have to admit, the funniest one is the miniseries one, because they had a guy in a wolf mask.
Oh yeah, it was just some chintzy wolf mask.
I'm like, you think that was the same one that was blowing a guy? It's like, now if you excuse me, I gotta go back to blowing my closeted lover. I was like, oh. We didn't need to know that, but thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for telling a small child about that.
I didn't even
Oh,
hear
you
that.
think I'm bad? Look in there. There's a chick in the tub waiting for you.
Stephen King.
There are great Stephen King things. Like, one of my favorite Stephen King film of all time will always be Creepshow.
I've heard of that. I haven't seen it though.
It's everything Zack Snyder wishes he could do as a filmmaker. It's the best tribute to comic books ever made, specifically the original Tales from the Crypt comics in the DC age, where it was written by Stephen King, but it was directed by the late George Romero.
Oh.
With effects by effects legend Tom Savini, where Yeah, so it's literally a comic book because the story starts off with a dad scolding his kid about stealing his Playboys,
Mm-hmm.
and he took away his comics, and he's like, "I don't want you reading this crap." And he's like, he talks to like the kid how a dad would talk to his kid, like he's like, "Hey, I don't want you swearing at me. I don't want you doing that stuff. Go to your fucking room." And he closes the door, and then the kid's like, "I hope you rot in hell." It's like, okay, this kid's messed up from the start. And then all of a sudden you hear a laugh outside his window, then you see this like rotting guy in gypsy clothes smile at him, and then the kid's like smiling with him. Then we cut to a trash can where the comic is, and it opens up to show like these many stories of like a zombie dad coming back to life, plant swallowing a young Stephen King whole, bugs popping out of some guy's face, a creature that lives in a crate, zombies from the ocean. Like, it's such a good movie. It actually scares you. You're just like, ugh. And Leslie Nielsen is in it. So good. But then again, you got better films like Carrie, which was written by Stephen King, and then it was directed by legendary director John Carpenter. I tell you, Stephen King has been a huge reference point for horror, especially when you go to now Stranger Things. I'm surprised no one's made an anime with Stephen King stuff in mind. Like, for real.
Oh, you never know.
Now, I understand in China they won't show anything like Stephen King because they're afraid.
Superstition.
Like, yeah, I don't get it. Like, what, people actually believe in that stuff over there?
Well, yeah, I've heard stories. I was trying to think of one character from Smite. Got like it's this game, this MOBA, and the Chinese version of it, they changed this character who I can't remember what he was. He was like this ghost hunter, but they changed him to like an actual Ghostbuster, and I think they censored that version of him. I don't know. It was really weird. I'll have to find it. China's, yeah, they don't like the ghosts and the spooky skeletons.
But they make ghost story movies. Like, they got stuff like the Chinese Ghost Story. They have haunted house movies there, which is weird. Maybe they're afraid like the ghosts will say, "You all need democracy," and then all of a sudden a huge riot happens. It's like, is that what they're actually afraid of? Which I'm like, I'm worried for China, because if that happens, then they'll probably kill us. North Korea's gonna be like, we ain't messing with China. We're gonna go argue with someone on Twitter now. Who? You know who. And it's with Dennis Rodman. It's like, who did you think we were arguing with? I think Dennis Rodman needs to go back to Korea to save us.
Exactly.
That sounds like a weird action movie.
I'd watch it.
Dennis Rodman, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Kim Jong-un. Fuck yeah, I would watch that too.
Better than The Interview.
Yeah. Other than a huge plug for Katy Perry.
Oh.
I think Katy Perry must have felt really awkward signing her rights off to use that. It's like, you know, this feels wrong. It's like, they probably had to get her high first. They were like, don't worry, we're just making it for a comedy. I know, my impression of Seth Rogen was accurate.
Yes, I thought he was in the chat right now. What are you doing here, Seth?
I don't know, but my movie career is failing. That's why I'm doing the Room movie.
Oh, right, he's doing that. Oh.
Did you guys see the trailer for it? Oh my god.
Oh, I don't want to, but I should.
It's amazing. They did it. They got everything right with this movie. There. This is how James Franco speaks in the trailer, you guys.
Ooh. Oh
my god. It's like he transformed into Tommy Wiseau. I was actually terrified because I thought that was him for a minute there.
That's his power. He's actually Pennywise in another form.
No, only he can turn into like the Green Goblin or Tommy Wiseau. That's his only powers. I become people fear. What? An ambiguously European man. Ah!
What are you?
There, you're lying. I never hit you. Even though you have to watch House of Wax for an accurate, scary Tommy Wiseau. Because there's a character who wears a wax mask and his face looks like Tommy Wiseau. It's like he's beating people up, going, "You're lying, I never hit you." You should look at Phalus, my arch nemesis' review on that.
Oh, I like that guy's reviews. He's actually one
I
of the...
love Phalus.
Yeah, that guy with the glasses, people that I actually enjoy.
He doesn't work for them anymore.
Yeah, I've heard, but I don't know. It's just subconsciously I still equate Phalus to being part of that group.
That's fine. We all live in denial.
I know. Just gotta move on. Just like he did.
Yes.
Okay, so anything else you guys want to talk about?
You guys hear about what's been going on with Trump lately in the whole NFL?
Oh, no.
Boy.
Yes, we have.
I'm staying out of this one.
We're gonna have to take a knee, guys. Hold on, let me...
Do we really need to recite lines from a bad Will Smith movie? Take a knee. Ugh.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
After Earth.
Yeah. Gotta give a rousing speech. But yeah, honestly, I have no problem with it. You know, that's kind of what America's about. It's about freedom to protest, and they want to do that. That's their prerogative, you know?
Yeah.
It felt kind of awkward seeing pictures of that. They're just sitting there, just like, yeah, this is happening. Even they're amazed this is happening. It's like, yeah.
And then that one guy who was standing. Oh, jeez. Wonder how he feels.
I feel bad for that one guy who was standing for it. He's like, man, you're not protesting. He's like, no, I don't want to get killed. You're afraid to die for the revolution. I have family. These people are crazy. They like watching sports where people try to kill each other on a field for a ball. They don't give a fuck. We're crash test dummies. I mean, Double Toasted likes to make fun of the fact maybe sports nowadays is kind of like slavery. Especially after a failed fantasy football draft thing where they had something from what I can only assume Get Out, where you see a bunch of people in a row and they hold up signs of people's faces saying, "Am I going $1? $1, $1, $1?" And it just accidentally, all the ones they were holding up were African American.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, there's so many things wrong with this.
Yeah, I don't think it was intentional, but, you know, at least one guy had to be like, hey, isn't this kind of racist? It's kind of like a slave
They put
auction."
an African-American woman in the crowd so it didn't look like that, but it was mostly white people and maybe a couple Asians. I'm not trying to be racist, it's just, wow, sports, they're not slick.
Yeah, they're...
But then again, no offense to the athletes who work their butt off and inject stuff into them just so they can move a ball. It's not their fault. It's the fact that they work for a sport that essentially, you know, uses them as cannon fodder to beat and hurt each other to a point where they're brain damaged.
Right. This wouldn't happen in MLG.
Yeah. I mean, the worst thing that'll happen to them is diabetes from all the monster they drink.
Exactly.
There's actually, on TV, there is actually an injustice competition on one of the channels. I'm like, this is a sport now?
Wasn't the,
I mean, I would appreciate ice hockey or, like, you know, air hockey as a sport. Like, okay, that actually requires real movement.
But I think it was for one of the, newer Olympics, we're gonna have, like, esports as an event.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if any of you guys heard about that.
No, but back to the knee thing. I love my country. I love being an American, and I'm thankful for all the soldiers who gave their lives so that we could have that flag and make sure it stands above high of any bigotry or
Mm-hmm.
hatred. Because we know the U.S. flag is the U.S. flag. The Confederate flag is the flag of traitors and treasonous people who wanted to leave our country
Yeah.
because they wanted to stick to an ideology that was so evil and intent. Sure, Lincoln had ulterior motives with freeing the slaves,
Mm-hmm.
but that's politics. He did actually defend slaves before he was president. But the point is that people have a right to protest whether you like it or not, freedom of speech, as long as they're not going to attack you, assault you, or beat the shit out of you in public. Then it's none of our business. If they want to make a scene and humiliate themselves, let them do that.
Yeah.
But if you want to attack them because you don't agree with them, then it makes you just as hypocritical, if not just as bigoted, as the people you are angry at. Such as, I respect the soldiers that say, hey, don't disrespect our flag. We died for that. And they understand the peaceful protest. And there are soldiers that are for doing that to the flag because of what they did. They don't hate each other. People out there, no one hates each other for their political views unless you're like a real Nazi. Like saying, yeah, let's kill them all. Like, you know, like
Yeah.
that's logical to hate because you promote destruction of a species for literally no reason other than you actually have to share a planet with them. But they have a right to protest, and it hurts. It hurts. It hurts seeing that type of thing because you love your country. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's given you a lot of good memories, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
love, and a lot of sense of community, whether it be no matter what your race or creed. But you have to also understand that there are people out there that don't have it as good as you do, that are profiled no matter
Yeah.
what race or creed they have. Like there are some white people targeted because they're Jewish, or some white people are Muslim and people look down on them for that. There are some black people who are Jewish, and you know, it's just another cycle of abuse and persecution, even down to something as being homosexual or something else. It's it's hard, and yes, some people abuse this. They abuse it. So
Mm-hmm.
my advice to you guys is think before you act, because one false decision can define you in the worst way possible. It's nice to
Oh
have a
yeah.
peaceful protest, and as long as it's a peaceful one that doesn't involve violence in any way, even if it means they're handing out free hugs. Like, imagine if Black Lives Matter was handing out, like, free hugs to Republicans or whatever, just to say, like, hey, we don't hate you or anything. We want to spread love. Like, that's fine. But if they want to say, kill them all, like, you know, like, that's a problem because they're promoting violence. If you're not promoting violence or hurting anyone in any way or endangering the public in any way, then it's okay. Even if it means a flag. But I do not want anyone to disrespect the flag. Just taking a knee is okay, but as long as it doesn't hurt anyone, because the human beings of our country is our country, the soldiers are our country, the businessmen of our country, the moms are our country, the dads are our country, the children are our country, the school boards are our country. That is what America is, the citizens. The citizens who fought hard to make sure they could have some form of a family and a unit for their family to live in and grow and thrive. And sadly, I think we just want things to go back to the way they were, where we felt innocent and naive, where we're overly nostalgic about that to
Mm-hmm.
a point where we're super defensive of what we are. And I'm defensive of this, so I'm a hypocrite towards this. But I need to acknowledge this stuff if I want to get better as a person. I'm not an
Exactly.
SJW. I don't believe in this stuff, but I do understand that certain people in this world are a lot more privileged because
Mm-hmm.
of who they are and who they were born to. And I understand a lot of people have been oppressed and scrutinized. All I can say is, as long as it's a peaceful protest, as long as you express real ideologies and true love and compassion as a human being, even to those that offer you none, that's what makes you an American. And that's all I gotta say.
Deep.
Wonderful. Yeah, I have nothing to add. I agree 100%. What about you, Mark?
I just pretty much agree with what he just said.
Yeah, I
Hear
was
like a loud random clap in the background. I was like, it's like, who else was listening to this? He's like, no one. Yeah, our message got beamed to Congress. They all heard it live. He's like, because of this, I am resigning as president. That speech from that man-child made me think. And then I'm like targeted. I have this dumbfound look on my face and going like, what?
I have a huge parade, Your Honor.
Yeah. I'm just sitting there going, I want to go home. I'm scared. There's a sniper going there saying, you should be. That's what happens, but anyone who's listening to this, just you fighting on as a person and trying to make the world a happier place for kids and for yourself in the most positive way possible, that's what makes you an American.
Yeah.
And that's all you need.
Perfect statement to end off of, Trench. That was
Yeah.
very good. Alright, well, talk to you guys next time.
See you guys. Hope you
You too.
guys are happy and healthy in this week, and hopefully we don't get in World War III because of a tweet.
Oh, God. Yeah.
I'm giving us maybe half a month for that to happen.
Oh. Thanks for the faith, Mark. Thank you.
I have no faith.
Fair
I
enough.
only
Maybe the
have...
God Emperor will save us. God Emperor's like, nah, I'm good. What? Later!
See ya.